All right, you guys can say, what's up, YouTube? How's it going? Yeah, so what's up, YouTube? How's it going? So this is Ask Caliber episode 3. Yeah, I believe it's episode 3. This is a series that we started probably like 3 weeks ago, so that makes sense. Episode 3, right? 3 weeks ago. So this is an episode we started where people ask questions in the YouTube channel. If you want to leave a comment in YouTube and you have a question, we can implement the question into Ask Caliber. Most definitely Discord. I look for questions that are in Discord and also that happen in Twitch chat. Common questions that happen in Twitch chat. And we just try to cover these, and I think it's a good series to just help people learn, you know, like what are common questions, because being a Twitch streamer, I see a lot of the same questions. I see a lot of the same questions in Discord, so it's kind of nice to cover a lot of these. So yeah, let's hop right in here and check out some of these. How do I have this set up? I have it set up like this. Yes, there we go. So this is a question that's been going around. Should I 6-star? Who should I 6-star next? Angelica or Dizzy first? I get a lot of questions like that between a healer and a DPS, or a healer and a support. And it really depends. Yeah, we're on YouTube again, Junior. It really depends on what you need. Okay, so healers really excel from being 6-starred. That's because they usually get a good chunk of hit points, and their heals come from the higher hit points. So healers really excel from being 6-starred. I highly recommend 6-star in healer, especially if you're using that healer in all content. I think it's a good move. As far as somebody like Dizzy and stuff goes, it just depends. If you're using Dizzy for PvP purposes, having a 6-starred Dizzy for a Guild Wars defense, I don't know if she's really great for Guild Wars defense, but the extra little hit points is going to help you out in PvP. So the question basically is, how many healers do you have 6-starred, and how important is it to 6-star Dizzy first? Is she going to help you in a lot of content? Is she going to carry you? General rule of thumb, like a supporter, if you can throw decent gear on them at 50, they're gonna kind of show you what their true colors are, if they're going to work really well for your team or not. And that for me is the milestone where I'm like, I throw the gear on them, I'm like, okay, this unit's working really good, just needs a little bit more survivability, and this character is going to be beautiful. At that point in time, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and let's 6-star them. But as far as healers are a pretty easy one. If you're using it general rule of thumb, 6-star them. Just better heals all the way around. Who should I 6-star first, second, and third? So this is a very common question too, guys. Get a lot of these questions. Who should I 6-star first, second, and third? So my first recommendation, most people will tell you to do a farmer. Vildred Clarissa says, my very first recommendation to everybody is do the DPS that you're having fun with. Because the DPS that you're having fun with, that you're enjoying the most, is going to have your best gear on there, which means they're going to be a far better effective farmer than any of your other DPSs that you have, because you don't have to switch sets. So that should be your first 6-star. Your first 6-star, the DPS that you're loving, that you're enjoying, that's kicking butt for you, that's clearing content, that's kicking butts and taking names. Second one should always be a healer, in my opinion. Angelica, Katie's, Destina, whoever your main healer is. That's just going to make them more survivable. And again, higher heals. The third one's kind of a tricky one, because it could be a support. It could be another DPS. General rule of thumb, I usually end up going for another DPS, because more DPS means clearing content quicker sometimes. But that's a really tough one. The third one's kind of an up in the air one. The third one's kind of an up in the air one. It's kind of like, where are you hung up at, and why are you hung up there? Are you hung up because your team's dying? Does that mean you need bigger hills? Are you hung up because your main support that has Arius on, Knight, is dying on you and can't keep the team alive? Those are questions you got to ask yourself with your third one. But general rule of thumb, it's easy for the first one. Your best DPS, your favorite DPS. Your second one should always be a healer of some sort, a healer support character, Angelica, whatever it is, whoever's doing the main healing. And that's where I go from that. Yeah, that's where I go from that. All right, so next question, guys. Do you recommend rerolls? Who do you recommend for rerolls and why? I'm actually not prepped for this question. Why did I throw this question on here when I'm not prepped for it? So it's really nice to get a good healer like a Katie's, Angelica, Destina. Even Rin is a very solid choice as a good healer to get on these. Even Lots is a pretty decent one that's going to carry you through a lot of content. Good question to be the question, right? So 5-star wise, Vildred's really good, and Ken's really good. It really depends on what type of DPS you're looking for. Vildred's a great farmer. Sez is a great farmer. I feel like Vildred doesn't fall off as much as Sez does. I feel like Sez falls off super quick. But then again, I don't know. I think Vildred and Sez are just fine. Ken, I think, is probably my top choice. If you're gonna choose somebody, I think Ken is like the most versatile unit out of them all. Arminthia, another solid choice. She's very solid. Who else do we got? You got a few other ones. But general rule of thumb, if you want to go for the best pull in the game, I would say Ken's the best pull. If you could get Ken Angelica combo, it's game over. It is. It's really game over. So Ken Angelica, if you can get that starter combo, I think you're not going to get stopped. You really aren't. You're going to be clearing content and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'd go for. I'd go for Ken Angelica combo if you could do it. If you can stand rerolling that long, I can't. I usually just go with whoever I can get. All right, in Guild Wars, what gear should I use for tanky team comps? In Guild Wars, what gear should I be using for tanky team comps? Alright, so tanky team comps, general thumb, you want to make them tanky, you want to make them survive, like people like Crawl, your Flurries. Flurry's a little bit different though, but depending on what type of tank you're running, if you're running somebody like Clary and stuff like that, you want speed, hit points, a little bit of defense and stuff on her, effectiveness and stuff like that, but you want to try to get their hit points as high as possible. If you're running somebody trolly like Crawl, you want to try to get as many your hit points as high as possible, and with defense too, meaning you're running like hit point neck, defense neck maybe, and like hit point boot or something like that, depending on what you're aiming for. But just trying to make them as tanky as possible on that right hand side. Generally, when you're going tanky, you just don't want them to die. Healers are good options for tanky tanky team comps too, because you know you're pretty much stacking hit points on most healers like Angelica, DN, so it mainly matters on the right side gear a whole lot, but if you're going for sets and stuff like that, hit point sets, defense sets for like Crawl and stuff is not bad. You generally want to go hit points with him. But yeah, just trying to get them as tanky as possible when it comes to hit points and stuff like that, and go for hit point defense sets. Unless it's somebody that demands speed on them, then if you do speed, go for a speed set and try to get that right side gear with the hit points and substats that you need. Yeah, you can throw Idol's Cheer on an Angelica. That gets annoying too. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Next question, guys. Next question. Is Dizzy going to be good in the Abyss? The answer is yes. Question done. No, I think Dizzy's going to be pretty good. She's going to have the ability to do some stuns and stuff like that on mushroom stages for people who haven't beat floor 50 and stuff like that. The ability to do an AoE stun and maybe hit some of the mushrooms. Super powerful. The ability to do attack and hit chance debuff is huge. That's less damage you're going to be accepting. Dizzy's actually kind of broken in the Abyss. I think she's going to be broken. I think a lot of people who have been struggling in the Abyss just pulled the Night Win card if they have Dizzy. I think she's going to clear a whole lot of content. I think she's going to be good for raids too with her debuffs. Her debuffs just make her super strong. So yeah, she's gonna be really good for the Abyss, guys. Even Wyvern 11, she reduces the damage you take from Wyvern 11. You still get hit with 3 fireballs, but the damage is reduced because you have 3 debuffs up. If you have 3 debuffs up on Wyvern 11. Is Assassin Kal EP any good? How and where can I use her? Assassin Kal EP is pretty amazing. The bad thing is she's only amazing on offense. I guess you can use her for defense. But it's easy to play around Assassin Kal EP in defense. If someone has a light tank, they can bring a light tank in. The light tank's going to take all that damage from Assassin Kal EP, and her turn is wasted. 100% wasted. So if you can turn around and do like if you got her set up really super speedy with a lot of attack and stuff like that, you can do a lot, and some effectiveness, you can do a lot of damage on offense. She can rip through units. You can pick and choose who you want to go after. She's definitely an I-win card. So Guild Wars offense is pretty good. You could probably get away with using her on Arena too. And I've actually seen people use her in Abyss too. So there's some options, but mainly you're going to see her in PvP offense. You'll see her on defense, but just remember, if you run across Assassin Kal EP, bring a light unit. It's immediately going to bait her. She's going to go straight for it. How should I gear my ML Ball and Sezin? Oh boy, ML Ball and Sezin. You definitely want to get some speed, survivability on him with a whole lot of effectiveness on this guy. I think you want to run Ectia Scepter on him for you can get a CR push and stuff like that. I'm not very fluent with this character, but I do know he's super annoying in arenas. But yeah, you generally are going to build him with speed and effectiveness, and maybe try to get him a little bit tanky to take the hits. His whole purpose is to strip buffs and put your butt to sleep, and that's all he does. So if you have a good CR pusher, you may not need to push super high speed levels. If you have a CR pusher, even with FTS Scepter, I don't think you even need a CR pusher with that, because the minute someone does a CR push, it pushes them right to the top, if I remember correctly. But yeah, general rule of thumb, probably speed set. You want to get them up in there in the 180s, maybe 200s. Probably the 200s, to be honest. You need higher speed so you can cut after their pusher. That's a very valid point there too. You can push through their pusher right there. So yeah, that's how I'd build him. Is Tagel's Ancient Book actually good in PvP? This one's actually blown up because lately, since Dizzy came out, it's a mage artifact that gives you 10 souls unmaxed. If you limit break it and max it out all the way, you get 20 souls at the beginning of the battle. So just think about all the burdens you can do. For example, Dizzy, if you had this book on Dizzy, it doesn't even have to be on Dizzy, it has to be on a mage. If you have it on another mage, you get 20 souls at the beginning of the battle, allowing you to do a soul burn with Dizzy on her S3, and then immediately, because her soul burn gives you an extra turn, go into her S2, which does a CR pushback. I think you're going to see more and more of these books in PvP. They're kind of broken. Just think if you ran an all mage team with all these on there, that would be kind of insane. So Tagel's Ancient Book, actually good in PvP. It's great. That's pretty much the only purpose of it. I mean, I guess you could use it in some other content maybe, but you know what? It's great in PvP, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right, next question, guys. Next question. Do you think ML Ball and ML Arminthia need to be nerfed? I plead the fifth. Okay, so they are ML units. They are 5-star ML units. They are pretty powerful. I think there's ways to work around this, and I think people are actually building teams around these comps now for defense purposes, for they can negate the effectiveness, running high effective builds with Kitty Clarissa Dingo, with a high effectiveness build with Strat Gauntlet and stuff like that, running builds like that to remove all the debuffs on yourself, so when your team does get put to sleep. I believe there's workarounds on that. As long as there's workarounds on that, and you can actually take on these team comps, and there's ways to counter them, and I think there is ways to counter them. People are just thinking up more and more ways to do it. Then I'm gonna probably say no. I'm gonna probably say no. Right now they're fine. ML Ball, out of all of them, is closer to being the most OP. The fact he can buff strip and put people to sleep at the same time is kind of annoying. But we'll see how it goes. So far they're working as intended. They're kicking butt. We'll see more and more counter teams to these teams. I think when they first come out, it's just kind of overwhelming that your PvP team was kicking butt, and now all of a sudden there's a new unit in there that's just completely wrecking the team you had working. And now you have to find a way to work around it, and then that means you have to build up other characters, test other characters. So I think as the weeks go on, I think we're going to end up with more and more counter comps to this stuff. So yeah. Yeah, they are pretty broken units. So yeah, that's going to end it for the Ask Caliber questions, episode 3, guys. If you guys are interested in asking questions, you can post them on Discord. You can post them in the YouTube comments. You can ask in Twitch. It's generally better to get them in Discord or a forum that I can look at them at a later time to add them to this format. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. And yeah, good stuff, guys. And we will continue streaming. We're just going to end the recording. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm always doing some sort of content. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch TV. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter or Discord. All those links are below. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching.